Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to the J&K Show's Top 5 Christmas Special.
Oh my god, I can't get over your hat. We only had one hat. Joe's got a sack on his head.
I'm sure I got a sack on my head. Still, it's good though, don't it? It's like a Christmas hat. Yeah, so we thought we'd do a top 5, but it's a bit different. We do like board games this time.
Yeah, because you play ball games.
You
play board games at Christmas, don't you?
Of course you do.
So that was the only thing we could come up with, like something to do with Christmas and games.
Yeah.
That we wanted to do.
That's true.
Anyway.
So
yeah.
We made this top 5 for you guys for Christmas.
Yeah. So let us know what kind of games you like to play. Like board games you like to play at Christmas.
Yeah. Should we get on with the top 5? Yeah. So let's begin.
Imagine If is a board game published by Buffalo Games. The game is played by putting 8 people's names in the spaces on the outer part of the board. The 8 people should consist of either the people you are playing with, including yourself, or you can put people you know outside of the players.
You then place the grey token on any name on the outside of the board. You will then be given a dedicated coloured token and some cards numbered 1 to 6.
The player that goes first rolls the dice and moves the grey token that many spaces around the outside of the board, clockwise or counterclockwise. If the grey token lands on a name, that name becomes the subject of the card. The player then picks a question card and reads it out loud, inserting the subject into the blank space. A card usually says something like, imagine if blank was blank. What would he or she be or do? And lists 6 numbered choices.
All players look for their number cards and pick the number card that corresponds to the answer they want. When all players have placed down a card, everyone flips theirs over.
To move a player's token, he or she needs to have picked the most popular answer. All players that have the most popular answer move 1 space, except the person who rolled the dice, who moves 2, if they pick the most popular answer. This continues until someone moves enough spaces to get to the middle of the board and becomes the winner.
So this is a really fun game to play with friends or family and find out how much you really know about each other.
Where to start with Monopoly, perhaps the most successful board game in the history of all board games. The original Parker Brothers Monopoly game is still very relevant, even in this day and age of the video game.
The objective being to destroy your opponent's real estate holdings and eventually force him or her into bankruptcy. The game begins with players each choosing a game piece to represent them as they move around the game board.
In order to get ahead, players roll the dice and move around the board. When you land on a property, you have the opportunity to buy it if it has not already been bought, or simply move on. If someone already owns that property, you must pay them for rent for landing on their property. The more money one can collect on the property, the better.
One of the best features of the game was landing on a community chest and getting to pick up a card. The card will give you instructions. It might be good news or bad news. You might win second prize in a beauty contest and get a £10 bonus, or you might be sent to jail.
The other really fun thing to do was to land on the free parking space. While some people play that you just land there for free, most players put money into a pot and the player gets all of the money when they land exactly on the free parking square. So overall this is a very entertaining game and a long lasting one too. Games can last well up to 7 hours, so make sure you have plenty of time to play.
It's a very successful board game with many different spin-offs. This is a great game to play with friends or family and will keep you busy for hours.
Battleships is a 2-player guessing game that is to be believed to date back to World War I. It started out as a pencil and paper game until it was released by the Milton Bradley Company as a physical board game in 1967.
The game starts off with each player receiving a board with 2 grids, one of each type of ship and a number of hit and miss markers. Before starting, both players must discreetly place each of their ships on the lower grid.
Players must take turns calling out a target square in the opponent's grid which is to be shot at. If there's a ship in the target square, you must say hit and put a hit marker over the square. If it's a miss, then you must put a miss marker over the square. When all the squares have been hit, the ship is sunk, which is announced by the player.
The winner is the first person to sink all their opponent's ships. Most people have played some version of this game and will agree it's a very fun and entertaining game to play with friends or family. And you can't deny you get a bit of a buzz when you get a hit on a ship. Mousetrap was first published in 1963 by Ideal. The game consists of 2 to 4 players. As the game starts, you must work together to build a mousetrap.
Once built, you are then playing against the other player, attempting to trap the opponent's mouse-shaped game pieces. Sometime later, the board game surrounding the mousetrap was redesigned by Sid Saxon, adding the cheese pieces and allowing the player to manoeuvre opponents onto the trap space.
The mousetrap in the game has never changed in operation, though the colour and shape of some pieces have been slightly modified over the years.
Mousetrap was also adapted into a game show, which was featured on the British children's television show Motormouth. A life-size board game was created, and the child contestants took the place of the mice.
Operation is a battery-operated game of physical skill that tests players' hand-eye coordination. The game's prototype was invented in 1964 by John Spinello.
Operation includes 2 sets of cards. The specialist cards are dealt out evenly amongst the players at the beginning of the game. Players take turns picking doctor cards, which offer a cash payment for removing each particular piece, using a pair of tweezers connected with wire to the board.
Successfully removing the alignment is rewarded by the amount shown on the card. However, if the tweezers touch the metal edge of the opening during the attempt, a buzzer sounds and the nose lights up red, and the player loses the turn.
The player holding the specialist card for that piece then has to try, getting double the fee if he or she succeeds. The game can be difficult due to the shapes of the plastic alignments and the fact that the openings are barely larger than the pieces themselves.
There have been many different versions of the game released, and it has been televised on a game show called Family Game Night, hosted by Todd Newton.
2 families had to compete. Family members would take turns pulling out of an oversized game board and then running through an obstacle course to eventually place them in a container at the end of the course.
Overall, this is a very fun board game to play, and we had a lot of fun playing this game, and we'll recommend checking it out if you haven't. Categories is a creative thinking category-based party game. The objective of the 2 to 6 player game is to score points by uniquely naming objects within the set category, given an initial letter with a time limit.
Snakes and Ladders is played between 2 or more players on a game board having numbered and gridded squares. A number of ladders and snakes are pictured on the board, each connecting 2 specific board squares. The objective of the game is to navigate one game piece according to a dice roll from the start to the finish, helped or hindered by ladders and snakes.
Connect 4 is a 2-player connection game in which players first choose a colour and then take turns dropping coloured discs from the top into a suspended grid. The objective of the game is to connect 4 of your own discs and the same colour next to each other, vertically, horizontally or diagonally, before your opponent.
Buckaroo begins the game standing on all 4 feet, with just a blanket on its back. Players must take turn placing various items onto its back. They must do so very gently, as a delicate spring mechanism inside it will be triggered by excess vibration. If it is triggered, Buckaroo bucks up on its front legs, throwing off all the items. Players who trigger this buck is knocked out of the game and play resumes. The winner is the last player remaining in the game.
So thank you guys for watching our top 5 board games, or top 5 Christmas board games.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it.
And remember, if you put down in the comments what sort of board games you like to play at Christmas.
Yeah, and
it's got damn sack.
It looks cool though.
I like a Sith.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do it. So thank you guys for watching. There will be how many videos? There'll be one more video before the end of the year.
Yeah. Hopefully it should go to plan and we can do what we wanted it to be.
Yeah. So
we hope you have a good Christmas.
Thank you guys for watching.
Have a good Christmas.
Have a good Christmas, and we will see you after Christmas. Goodbye. I'm getting kidnapped. Help me.
It's upside down Santa.